With the rise of consumerism, it gets harder and harder to create a budget and stick to it. Everything in the market looks flashy and intriguing, and many times they deceive us into spending recklessly, without saving for the rainy day. But in today's video, we'll be learning about budgeting and why it's so important. Hey there, welcome to today's video. Please subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell if you haven't done so. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Now, let's get right back into the video. Put simply, budgeting is the process of thoughtfully creating a plan on how to spend your money. It helps to determine the things you'd be spending on and how much you'd be spending beforehand. It also helps you prioritize the most important things in case you don't have enough money to go around. If you're finding budgeting hard, it's either you're not doing it the right way or you don't know how important it is. And I believe that I've addressed the importance of it. So now let's talk about how to create a successful budget. To create a budget that works, you must put certain things in place. First of all, you must learn to set realistic goals. Ask yourself questions like, what do I want my financial statement to look like by this time next year? When you have a goal in mind, budgeting is much easier and less forced. Also, you must be able to identify the difference between your income and expenses and even learn to track them. Income is the amount of money that you get over time. For example, your salary or the money you get for your investments. While, on the other hand, expenses are the amount of money you spend over time. These two factors have to be watched because they determine everything. More income and fewer expenses eventually lead to financial stability, while less income and more expenses will plunge you into debt. So, an understanding of how to balance these two in a way that guarantees financial growth is what budgeting's all about. Another set of terms you need to address is needs and wants. Needs are expenses you cannot help but make. For example, you need a house to live in, you need food to eat, you need clothes to wear. These are things you cannot do without. However, wants are things you could do without, even though they might be important to you. This can look like wall art pieces, designer bags, and game sets. These terms must be defined and separated to avoid confusion, especially when you don't have enough income to accommodate them side by side. So, when budgeting, you must make space for your needs before your wants. You will not buy a designer bag and end up living on the streets. Your rent should come first. And we know things you don't budget can pop up along the way, but these can help you create great budgets. And if you've not begun budgeting yet, you might be wondering why there's so much fuss nowadays about budgeting. You may be asking, why is everyone so obsessed with budgeting? Well, the truth is, there's a plethora of reasons why budgeting's important. And some of them include, number 1, budgeting gives you control over your money. Many people don't know where their money goes, and this is why they never attain the height of financial stability. Some blame their misfortune on the taxes and expenses, but if you ask them to give a proper rundown of what they spent their money on, they'd not be able to give you an accurate account. This is carelessness, and it keeps people powerless and clueless until they decide to break free. And this is why budgeting's important. With great budgeting, you're able to see how much you have and spend from time to time. So there are no guesses. You know everything that's going on with your finances and learn how to manage them better. Number 2, it helps you save towards retirement and emergencies. Nobody wants to get to 60 and begin to struggle with finances. Also, when we fall into trouble or there's one emergency that comes up, we don't want to be stuck running around for money. Budgeting's important because it helps you set money aside every month for your retirement. It will help you, if you're disciplined, to avoid falling into poverty when you get older. And it can also help you create an emergency fund you can fall back on whenever an unplanned need arises. Number 3, it helps you know your spending habits. There are two kinds of people when it comes to finances. There are the spenders and the savers. The spender buys on impulse. When they see something they like, they get it by all means, even if they have to borrow it. They don't plan for the future, or remember that they have projects coming up that will require money. Then there are the savers who consider their circumstances and know how to spend their money effectively. They do not spend on impulse, and they try their best to reduce expenses so they can save some money for the rainy day. With budgeting, you can identify which one you are and make the necessary adjustments. Great budgeting exposes your careless spending and helps you stay disciplined until you become better at managing money. On the flip side, many people won't see the need to take classes on financial literacy if they never budget. They won't see the need to improve, and they will be limited in many ways and even run into debt at some point. Number 4, budgeting helps you get out of debt. Speaking about debt, budgeting's a great way to get out of debt. Let's say you're owing the bank $5,000 on a loan you took last year. If you create a budget that lets you set aside part of your income monthly, you'd be able to pay up your debt in no time. This will give you more peace of mind and even help you keep your relationships intact. I say this because debt's one of the leading relationship destroyers in the world today. Many people have lost friends and business partners because of debt. So, if push comes to shove and you have to borrow, budgeting's the only tool that can help you out of that situation. Number 5. Budgeting helps you work towards long-term goals. We all have dreams. For some, it's a project they want to carry out in the future. For others, it's a vacation or a business they want to set up. Either way, we all have things we're striving towards in life. However, if we don't have the right attitude towards money, as great as our dreams are, we'll never touch them. This is because whatever dreams you have cannot be achieved without money, no matter how small they are. And if you keep spending impulsively without saving, you won't have enough money to sponsor your dreams. This is where budgeting comes in. In the same way you can keep money aside to pay off your debt, you could do the same for your dreams. Find out how much your dreams cost to accomplish and factor a portion of it into your monthly budget, meaning that every month you must take out a certain amount of money for the sake of your future. Number 6. Budgeting improves your overall quality of life. According to research, people who budget live the best lives. This is because they're in control of their money and have full control of what goes out and what comes in. This helps them make great decisions that can improve the quality of their lives. And some may argue that top celebrities don't have budgets, yet they live great lives. To that, I'll say that since they don't keep budgets, they have accountants who help them keep track of their income and expenses. These accountants keep them in check so that they don't overspend or run into debt. So when you look at it, the whole idea of budgeting is just to keep an eye on your money to avoid debt and impulsive spending. And when you avoid these two things, you live a great, well-balanced life that's somewhat enviable. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who might need it. I'll see you in the next one.